So let's first talk about you. You're showing up here as the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords, whenever I see this, it's somebody who is very, very confrontational. It is somebody who's quite angry and almost like they're fighting for some truth. They're trying to get at some truth. And they're very much fighting on an emotional or trying to defend an emotional stance. So I feel like, rationality and passion need to be in accordance with one another. At the same time, you might want to tone it down just a little bit when you're interacting with another person. I feel that for a lot of you, you might be completely overjoyed or completely upset. So this is a surge of energy, a surge of passion that you're bringing into this month with you, okay? And I feel like it can be, it can oscillate from one way to the next, where the first half of the month, you're dealing with a lot of like feelings of joy, happiness, contentment, elation. And then the second half of the month, you're dealing with more of the negative energies. Or it can just be, feeling very fired up, very just, I guess like excited throughout the entire month. So this is a really energetic, I guess it's a very energetic, I can't say energy, but it's a very energetic way of directing the month in your favor. So I feel like a lot of you last month, I felt a lot of stagnation, especially with the mid-month reading. So you weren't making choices. And I feel like this is the month in which you went with it and you're very happy, okay? So a lot of you have gone with it. And you're ending in a place where you are very emotionally ecstatic. You're feeling emotionally stable. You're feeling very fulfilled. A lot of you might have gotten a love offer, might have gotten like some type of a proposal. And I do feel if you're dealing with fire signs specifically, there might have been a fire sign that offers something for you as well as a water sign. The water sign is very, very sincere. And I do feel that, they're both great in their own ways, but a lot of you, if you are tied in with a water sign, and if this is a water sign that is coming back in from your past, you want to be very careful because I feel like it's a very, very toxic, karmic relationship, and it might have, lasted with it for like 5-7 years. If that sounds familiar to you, don't go back for round two. Okay, it just doesn't make sense. If this is a brand new water sign, you want to take it very slow. So the cards are advising here. If this is a situation where, it's a water sign from the past who has hurt you a great deal, you want to hold back and you don't want to, jump the gun here. Okay, so the Strength card is all about, fortitude, patience, and it's about, looking at the bigger picture and not making that action too soon. So if you're getting a proposal from somebody from your past and you've had like a lot of problems with, I feel that the karma has pretty much run out, and it's really important for you not only to remember, reminisce about the good times, but think about why that situation didn't work out the first time, because that is going to give you all the information you need as to whether or not to re-engage. Okay, it just doesn't make sense to re-engage in that situation. So just be careful. If it is a brand new water sign, it has a lot of potential, and this is, brand new, you've never dated before. Okay, so it has the potential here to make you very, very happy. I do feel that for those of you who are dealing with a fire sign, likewise, from the past, not going to work. If it's a new fire sign, I do feel that, you might, I feel like a lot of you are fantasizing about a fire sign for some reason, thinking to yourself, like putting this person almost on a pedestal and thinking to yourself, and fire signs are Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, this is like the ideal person for me to have a family with, for example. Or you're putting them on such a pedestal that you're not seeing the reality of the situation. And I feel like for some of you, this person, for some reason, seems to me like they're larger than life and you feel inadequate. So you're not able to make them a proposal. You're not able to express to them, how you feel about them because you're intimidated. But not only that, you're living in the fantasy. You're living in the ideal of, what this person is, and you're not dealing with them in a realistic manner. So I want you to be extremely careful when dealing with a fire sign that you are putting on a pedestal. We are all humans, we all have flaws, and it's really important to approach somebody face to face, get to know them before you start formulating all these grandiose plans with them, okay? It can extend across love relationships or friendships, work partnerships as well. So be realistic. I feel like you're not grounded this month. Yeah, I feel like you're hopping around, you're moving too fast, and you're so passionate about all the things that you're doing that you're barely on the ground. So stay grounded, okay? The only Pentacles card that came out that indicates groundedness is the 5, which is not a great Pentacles card, and it's also in the reverse. So I feel like a lot more grounding, a lot more practicality is going to be required of you for this month. And once again, last month I was sensing that a lot of you are kind of like jumping so far ahead in the future, and you're like projecting how things are going to play out. I feel that energy is lessened, but I feel like it's going to the other extreme. So last month, a lot of you were cycling through worst case scenarios. And this month, you're cycling through like best case scenarios, which is all fine and great. But if you're dealing with people who have been problematic in the past, and you're, giving them a second go, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, they're going to change, so I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket, I feel that you want to be very careful about doing that, okay? Just don't project at all. Just take it one day at a time and figure things out when you get there. Solve problems when they creep up, and, enjoy the moment, because you're not grounded. You need to be grounded to live in the moment. And another thing I'm sensing as well is, for a lot of you, there are opportunities here for family reunions and things like that, okay? The 10 of Cups is greatly about family completion. So this is, new children coming into the picture, new family members being added, such as weddings and things like that. And I also feel that there's some type of a family reunion, and it can bring up like a little bit of a hassle, in that you might deal with people that you don't particularly like. And I feel like there's like talks and invitation of some type of a reunion, and then at the last minute, it falls apart. So if you have some type of invitation for a family reunion and you're dreading it, just don't worry. I don't feel it's going to take place. I feel like something is going to happen to prevent it from coming together. Or at least, half of the people that say they're going to be there are actually reneging on their responsibility. So I feel like you're going to end up in a very good position with people who actually want to be there. So, either way is working in your favor. If you have been estranged from your father, and I'm sensing this as more of a channel message, not so much looking at the cards, but if you have been estranged from your father, I definitely feel that there is going to be an opportunity for reconciliation. I feel that for those of you with, family issues in the past, there's reconciliation. So the point here is, do take it one day at a time. If we have family members that have been, less than honorable, and they, for example, they have always, asked you for money, or they only call you when they need something, and this extends across all interpersonal relationships, I feel that this time, a lot of you are just like, I'm going to help, but I'm going to give them a lecture. Well, the point here is that I feel that it takes a lot of humility to ask somebody for help. So this person might be operating from a place of pride, and because of it, I feel like, spare them the lecture. I don't feel that it's necessary. They're operating from a place of pride, and they might not show you that they're very appreciative of you, or they might not ask in a very, sincere manner. But it's because they have a lot of pride. Okay. If you're dealing with a fire sign, they do have a lot of pride as well. And it's difficult for people who are very proud to say sorry, because saying sorry, even though, I feel like as a Gemini, when you do something wrong, you admit it right away, because to you, it's not a big deal. it means that, putting our pride down and just saying it. But I feel like, especially for those of you dealing with a fire sign, they're so stubborn and they're so proud that it's hard for them to say these words. It's hard for them to even think it, let alone let it slip out of their mouth. And I feel that it's something that you can't really understand, and you just can't wrap your head around why somebody would let their ego get the best of them. But, I don't understand it either, but I do feel that you're dealing with somebody who you feel is just so difficult, and you're trying to figure out why. And I feel like a lot of it has to do with just, their sense of pride. One of the best ways to deal with this energy is not to be confrontational, because that is only going to prick their pride and it's going to make the situation worse. Okay. The best thing to do is to emotionally detach yourself. So, for example, if they say something that rubs you the wrong way, just take a breath and tell yourself that they're like this with everybody. So don't take it personally, okay? And I feel that sooner or later, you are going to allow them to come to you and not be defensive. Okay, so soon they're not going to, try to verbally attack you every single time, or you're not going to butt heads every single time. So I feel that for a lot of you, it would be in your best interest to, not take things personally and detach yourself. If you are romantically linked up or interested in a fire sign, I just want you to be a little bit careful and, ask those questions and be sure that this person is completely, single and unattached. Okay. Because I feel like whenever I get this card, it deals with like lying and deception and confusion, and it deals with somebody doing something they're not supposed to. So if you're dating a fire sign, I feel fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, I feel that it might be a little bit problematic where you're not getting all the answers. So you want to just keep that in mind. So Geminis, I do feel there are a lot of offers for you. If those of you who are single and dating, you're going to have a great time. And I feel that, Valentine's Day is going to be a very significant day, because I do sense, spending time with significant others, getting gifts, trinkets, and things like that, that makes you very happy. Because I for some reason, I always associate, Geminis like feeling very happy when you get like little gifts and trinkets. Virgos too, especially Virgo women, like little, like little insignificant things that are like very, very little, and you put them all in a box and you really enjoy that, such as like chocolate, but you want something that has more sentimental value. And I know like Virgo women love that stuff. So I feel like for you guys, a lot of those little trinkets are going to come through for, for this month. And it might be Valentine's Day, or it might just be something else, but I do feel those trinkets are coming through for you guys. For those of you who are, and I mentioned this for Aquarius too, so it might be an air sign thing. Be very careful about speeding and dealing with the, ramifications of that via speeding tickets, going to traffic court. Be very, very careful and mindful about, how fast you're going. Make sure your car is checked. Make sure everything else is in order, because I feel that there is going to be some financial, outpouring of finances as a result of these things. And especially do not, if you're going to be drinking, just, overall, if you're going to be drinking, don't drive, and don't drive over the speed limit and draw attention to yourself. I definitely feel some type of moving too fast causing accidents and, some legal ramifications as a result of it. So be very, very careful, okay? This is a month for you to be extra careful when it comes to relationships, when it comes to, your mobility, the things that you're doing, how you control your behavior, and, just how you move about and navigate the energy for this month. Be very strategic, methodical, and slow down. Slowing down, getting yourself grounded is going to be required of you, okay? So I guess the best way to say this is be more like a Capricorn. Be very sure-footed so that you're not moving so fast and slipping. Be very sure-footed. Be very methodical take more of the Capricorn energy where, they plan things out and they think things through, and they're not overly expressive when it comes to their emotions. I feel like a lot of you, it's going to be a very, very emotional month, where feelings are definitely heightened, and you're not going to understand what came over you. But I feel like it's if, for example, if you're happy, you're like extremely happy. If you're angry, you're extremely upset. So I feel like you're not dealing with a broad spectrum here. I feel like it's just emotional intensity. So try to temper your feelings, try to be a little bit more grounded, and taking extra time to process why you feel a certain way, it will help you understand the better way to approach situation. So if you're dealing with someone who gets you really riled up and who makes you very defensive, just learn not to take it personally. Just learn that, okay, I'm feeling angry right now because the other person is being defensive. So let me try to control, or detach myself from a situation. So I feel like emotional highs and lows, and also extreme emotional like extremes when it comes to expressing a certain emotion. It can be joy, or just, I feel like anger, joy and anger. There's very little in between. Possibly jealousy, but I feel like there's very little in between. So going back to these two cards, and I said that these were good together. This is a lot of emotional healing, okay? So this is pain, anguish, feeling very hurt, and it deals with separation as well. So a lot of you might have a long distance relationship and you're coming together this month, okay? Additionally, we have the Five of Pentacles in the reverse position. This is overcoming emotional hardship. So this is overcoming, financial hardships. It's also a spiritual hardship as well. So this is finding refuge. This is finding, it's a situation where two people have been like cast out, but in the reverse, they found each other. So I feel like something is coming in together for you, and it seems to be a very, very karmic relationship where you both are helping each other. So with you moving so fast, I feel like a lot of you are traveling this month. You might be traveling to see a significant other. They likewise might come to you. And there's definitely some type of a situation that calls for a reunion as well. So for those of you who are traveling to do this, I feel that it is going to make you extremely happy. I feel like for a lot of you, there is some type of a travel, and at the end of that voyage, at the end of this, communication or travel, there is a great passage. I'm sensing like a long windy road. I'm seeing like a long windy road. It might have been a very, very long standing love affair, and you're both are coming back together, or it might have had a lot of troubles, and finally things are clearing up. All those blockages are clearing up, and you have this tremendous emotional release because finally you both are coming together. So I feel like it's one of those very, very significant major relationship where it would, I guess, withstood the test of time, and as a result of it, you both are moving forward. And I feel a lot of joy and contentment coming through. It's a very stable karmic relationship for a lot of you who, had that long-standing love affair, and you waited for each other. There's an element of, not being hasty in the past, and then finally coming together this month. So I feel like it's a very, very magical month where things are coming together and in the most beautiful way. So it's like exceeding your wildest dreams, because I feel you are going to be quite happy. Okay. I do hope you enjoy your time for Valentine's Day and also enjoy the rest of the month. Geminis, I feel that this is going to be a very, very good month for you. A lot of those problems that I saw from last month is coming to an end, okay? Everything is being released, and so that new things can start for you. Just slow down a little bit and get some grounding for this month.